Hello friends, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another day of Vlogtober. If you're new here, I'm Shawan, and in today's video I am at home in my kitchen and we are going to have a bake with me day. We're going to bake some apple pie and we're going to bake an apple crisp. So we went apple picking this fall. We still have about half a bag of our apples left. I also picked up some more apples, specifically Granny Smith, because the apple crisp does call for about 8 Granny Smith apples. So I have more apples and yeah, I'm looking forward to baking with you today. And let's see, my apple pie recipe, I'm so excited to use that. I put out a shout out or put out a message or put out an ask on Instagram for my followers there to send me a DM if they had any recipes or any tips, and I did get 2 tips and 1 recipe from a friend of mine, and I think that recipe is like over 20 years old. So I'm going to be baking her apple pie today. And let's see what else. The apple crisp recipe is a taste of home recipe. I've used taste of home recipes for a very long time, so I'm excited to use that resource for a recipe. They have never failed me, so I'm hoping today too that this apple crisp is going to come out deliciously. I have 2 taste testers, maybe 3 who are waiting for me to get going on this apple pie and this apple crisp because they want to taste it. Yeah, I am so excited to do this. I can just remember homeschooling my kids and we had these fun cooking days. At least they were fun for me. I'll have to ask them, did you guys enjoy those cooking days? I think they did. But yeah, and I can just remember having cooking days with them. And also I can remember times where I would be in the kitchen and pretending that I had a cooking show. So I guess this is maybe my cooking show debut. Who knows? But I really used to enjoy that. I can remember watching the Neelys on the Food Network, Pioneer Woman. I remember her channel. I used to follow her blog before she even went to TV and have several of her cookbooks. And who else did I enjoy? Rachel Ray, of course. So many on the Food Network, but I used to pretend that I had a cooking show too. So I would be in the kitchen and pretending and having so much fun. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen my Thanksgiving Instagram stories and videos. I really do enjoy cooking. I don't have as much time as I used to have before, but I really do love cooking. I've been cooking forever. But we're going to dive in. I'll talk to you more or talk with you more as I'm cooking. And if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into today's Bake With Me Day, friends. Thank you so much. All right, let's get started. I have the apples all sliced up, ready to go. I just greased my dish that I'm going to use, and now I'm just going to place the apples in. Alright. I had to go out and get all flour, sugar, a lot of things I had not used since Thanksgiving from last year or didn't even have. Thanksgiving, Christmas is typically the time that I do the most baking, really. So I was all out of almost everything. All right, we need a tablespoon of flour. Ideally, I wanted to have all of these measured out and all cute, but this is how it is, for real today. Let's see, we got a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm going back and forth and looking at my laptop off to the side as I keep walking in and out. A half teaspoon of cinnamon. All right, so I'm mixing up the sugar, the flour, the salt, and the cinnamon. All right, now I'm gonna add this mixture over the apples. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Maybe if I do more of these, I'll learn how, you know, to get everything measured out before. But this is like real too. This is how I really do things. Everything isn't all measured out and all ready to go. I'd rather have as few dishes as possible to clean up. It does make it easier when you can measure things out. But it is what it is today, friends. All right, let me put that there. All right, we got a cup of flour, a cup of oats, dark brown sugar. I'm fingers crossed that I have brown sugar because I didn't have that on my list. And yeah, so close. I have brown sugar. Oh my goodness. I was getting a little nervous. Actually, I have a lot of brown sugar. It's not even open. All right, how much brown sugar? 1 cup of brown sugar. All right, we got our brown sugar. And we need 1/4 of baking powder and baking soda. I better keep these guys separated. This is a half, so a half, this is 1/4. All right, so we need 1/4 of baking soda and 1/4 of baking powder. Just wanted to use 2 separate tools. I want to dip in both of these. All right, and the Dave's baking powder, not related to me. I always get a kick out of that every time I see it. All right, 1/4 of baking powder, and we got 1/4 of baking soda. All right, and a pinch of salt. A pinch of salt. All right, and a pinch of salt. Just a pinch. All right, I think that's good. All right, we're gonna mix this all up. I'm gonna grab a fork to do that. Our nice topping. So tell me, do you enjoy baking or do you enjoy cooking? I feel that I'm more of a cook and not really a baker because I really don't like to follow directions. I feel like cooking, you can do a little bit of this or do a little bit of this, you know, that, and season to your liking. And I feel with baking, you have to be exact. I've always said to my kids, like, baking is like, it's science, right? And you want to make sure that you measure properly, because if not, I've definitely had some baking fails for sure. One in mine goes back to college. I remember I was baking a cake. I think it was, I want to say it was my husband's birthday. although we weren't married at that point. But I remember that being in the summer. So maybe it wasn't a birthday. Maybe I was just making a cake and I did not have the proper measuring tools. And I thought, you know, I can just eyeball it. Well, that didn't work so well with the cake. So eyeballing when cooking, yes. Baking, probably not a good idea. All right, I have all of this mixed up together. And now I'm going to sprinkle this over the top. This actually makes the crumb portion of our apple crisp. Nice crumb topping. All right, I'm back over here on my laptop. See, I'm glad. I got one more thing to do. I also need to add the butter to our flour, oats, and brown sugar mixture. So let me grab our butter. Actually, let me melt it for 10 more seconds. It should be ready to go. And our apple crisp is almost done. So I am going to add butter in to our mixture. Just want to do this with my fork. And it says I'm going to mix it until like little lumps form. So let's do that. All right, this looks good. Now I'm going to sprinkle this on top of our apples. All right, it's going into the oven. Here we go. Put it on the middle rack. And slide her in there. All right, apple crisp is in the oven. Now on to the apple pie. All right, here we are for part number 2 for our apple pie. The apple crisp has about 18 more minutes left. And I decided to measure things out. I figured that maybe you couldn't even see like what I was doing the last time because all of the ingredients were here. So I took a pause and measured everything out. I am going to start with peeling the apples first. And this is a friend of mine's recipe. I want to say from her mom, over like 25 years ago. If I'm incorrect, I'll make sure I put something on the screen. But she shared this recipe with me and she also gave me permission to share it with you guys. So in the recipe, I have apples. Her recipe was 3 pounds of apples. I don't think I have as many. I was also trying to pay attention to the size of the pie plate that I have too, just to be on the safe side. So I won't use all of these apples. I know I have a blend of Honeycrisp. I have 3 Granny Smiths that I'm going to add in. And I can't remember the last variety of apple that we picked up at Tuga's. And if I remember, I will put it on the screen for you guys. Also, we have sugar, we have flour, we also have more cinnamon. I added in 1/4 teaspoon of apple pie spice. I hope I was okay with doing that. But I just thought I would just, you know, add a little something in there. And I also have a 1/2 stick of butter and I cut it up into small cubes so that I can dot it on top of the filling once I get it all into the pie plate. My friend also told me that she does use Pillsbury crust, so I picked up a package of Pillsbury crust. It's not a homemade crust, but I know it's going to taste just as good. So I'm going to start by peeling these apples up. And yeah, we have 16 minutes, so hopefully I will have this all ready to go. Let me get my little bowl. Hopefully I'll have... Oh, I already had a bowl. Hopefully I'll have this all ready to go by the time that the apple crisp is all done. One of the things that I do is try my best when I'm cooking to do things in order, and I always think about timing of things too. That's how I cook Thanksgiving meals and our meals for Christmas. Also, just like everyday dinner meals. I do use HelloFresh for our dinner meals. Initially, we had like a 4 meal a week subscription, but now I've reduced it to 3 meals just because I was cooking almost every day. My husband helps out as well, but it was starting to be a lot. Like, I don't want to cook every single day. I do enjoy those days of having leftovers. However, HelloFresh does solve a problem of me not having to think about, what we're going to eat every day for dinner. I don't know about you guys, but in terms of time, having a business for sure, and taking the time to meal plan and then go to the grocery store, bring everything back home, unpack everything, cook everything, like that time does add up. And HelloFresh has saved me some time in that sense that I don't have to, write out a meal plan every week. And I don't have to go to the grocery store. I still go to the grocery store, of course, but I don't have to worry about, our meals for dinner. For me, it would also, like, depending on the season of life for sure, just, having that time. I would typically do it on a Saturday, but then, I used to be a wedding photographer, and that was hard sometimes to always plan out what we were going to eat for the following week and then have time to grocery shop when I was, photographing weddings on the weekends. So having HelloFresh has definitely saved me some time, and the thought process too has decreased. So it's been helpful. However, I do miss having leftovers. And yeah. So yeah, but I do enjoy using it. I do enjoy the variety of meals. We do have some favorites that we've gotten a few times. But yeah, I do enjoy it just for the reason of how much time it saves me. I'll also say that it has saved like food waste too. You know how you have a recipe for, something with cilantro or, some type of vegetable, and you end up getting more than what you actually need, because of how it's packaged. So it does save me wasting food too, because all of the ingredients are pre-packaged and are specifically for that recipe. So it does help me, not to waste food, not to waste money. And it's relatively, it fits our budget well. Sometimes I do need to add more if all 5 of us are home. It can get a little hairy, like, okay, we need to add some extra vegetables or some extra rice. My kids will start teasing about, what are these portion sizes here? That's when everybody is home. And sometimes even when it's just the 4 of us, I still get those comments like, Mom, what's up with these portions? So I know for the last couple of weeks, I've tried to make sure I pick up some extra vegetables, that I can just easily prepare to go with the meal rather, so that everyone feels full, right? Oh my goodness. All right, I think the apples are looking pretty good here. And I'm sure if I have any leftover apples, somebody will gladly eat them. Bentley likes apples and peanut butter. You guys haven't seen Bentley because I'm typically at the studio, but Bentley is our 3-year-old mini golden doodle. He is a ton of fun. He is so funny. He probably will come downstairs because I just said his name. But yeah, he's our 3-year-old mini golden doodle, and he is a riot. All right, I have all of the apples peeled. All right, so I'm gonna slice up my apples and put them into this bowl. And once they're all sliced up, we're gonna add the sugar on top. Let me just double check my recipe to make sure. Here we go. Make nice thin slices. I also did the same thing with the apple crisp slices. I made sure that they were fairly thin. This is going to be so good. Oh my gosh, oh my goodness. Did I tell you guys how good the apple cider donuts were? Oh, they did not disappoint. They were so good, so good. I think there are still like 2 hanging out in the fridge. I've taken some, like a couple, with me in my lunch bag for lunch, and I'm always like, oh yeah, I forgot I brought me a treat today. But they are so good. Let's get all these guys in. How are we doing with time? We have 5 minutes before the apple crisp is out. I haven't made an apple pie in a very long time, but I do enjoy making sweet potato pies. Any friends here from the South? I am originally from Alabama, which I don't think I've ever shared that with you guys. So if you hear a blend of accent ever in my voice, it's definitely from the South for sure. I think bits of it are never going away. I actually took my car in for service last week, and I was complimenting them on, or the service tech on the finishing of the service space. It looked so nice, and I was like, oh, you guys, it looks so good. Like, I've seen it, you know, in progress, and it looks awesome. And he was like, are you from the South? I was like, yes. Oh my goodness. I was like, yeah, I am. I don't think that parts of my accent, I don't think it's gonna go away. All right, I definitely want to make sure that I get all of these Granny Smiths in here. I had one of my past brides to give me a tip for apple pie, and she said to make sure that I put in, I think she said 2 large Granny Smiths or 2 Granny Smiths, and I figured that I would do 3 because mine were on the smaller side. So shout out to my past bride, Alyssa. Thank you for giving me that tip, and I actually use it, as you can see. I'm just gonna mix these up just because we have a blend of apples here. It is smelling so good in here. Oh my goodness. I'm surprised nobody has come downstairs yet. All right, we're gonna add the sugar in. I'm gonna let that, get that all in. And I'm also going to mix that up. All right, it's definitely easier to have things measured out. And I can talk more too. All right, the apples are all sugared up here. All right, I think what I'm gonna do now is take the cinnamon and the flour and I'm gonna mix that together. All right, get my little fork here. Once again, the cinnamon smells so good. And I hope I didn't mess anything up by adding that apple pie spice. I only did 1/4 teaspoon, so that should not do any harm. It's a little nutmeg in that spice. Let's see what's in here. Cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. So I hope those blends will taste good. All right, so now I'm gonna set my apples aside for a second and my cinnamon. And I'm gonna bring over, guys, if it were left up to me, we would not have like any kitchen gadgets. Like I use the bare minimum. For years, we've just had the bare minimums, and my husband started to cook maybe 2 years ago. Like during the whole lockdown, he started cooking and he started getting all of these gadgets. So this is something that I've never had. This is a pastry mat, but I'm like, why have I never used something like this? I would always just put down wax paper and work with it. Maybe put a cutting board on the sides to hold that wax paper down. But I do like this cutting mat, and I'm glad that he picked it up, along with so many other gadgets that we have. I'm serious, we would not have as many gadgets if it were not for him, for sure. All right, let me grab a pair of kitchen scissors, cut these open. All right, put those back. And let's see. Oh, we have 1 second. The apple crisp is ready. All right, let's go see what that looks like. Bentley. All right, the apple crisp is ready. Let's take it out, or at least let me look at it. I am going to let it stay. Let's see. It looks really, really good. Look at that. Yum. I think I'm gonna let it sit for a little more, and maybe like 10 more minutes perhaps. And I'm also going to I'm gonna put it on the top top rack. All right. And I'm gonna crank it up maybe not, I'll leave it because it's in this glass dish. All right, I'm gonna leave it on 350 and let's give it 10 more minutes. How about that? Let's do that. Because I want the topping to be a little crunchy too. So let's let that stay on a bit. All right. So we are going to, let's get our pie crust all ready here. Let's roll it out. I like this pie dish too because it already has the pretty little edges to it. So you don't have to do the little imprint. I can remember doing that with my fingers before or something. I think it was my fingers. All right, pie crust is all in. And I'm also going to, my friend whose recipe this is shout out to Lynn. Thank you so much for sharing this family recipe with me. And now I'm sharing it with you. But Lynn, she always has such a pretty pie top. So that is one of the reasons why I picked up a pizza cutter on my shop with me day, my home goods shopping day. All right, so I'm gonna roll this guy out. And I'm going to use my pizza roller. I can just do like so. I don't know how to make the crisscross. I just thought about that. Like, oh, I would love to do that, but I don't know how to do that. Well, I guess I'll need to just leave it like this because I only have, yeah, I only have this one. Let me do this. I am going to, maybe one or two, I'm going to take, although it's not completely even, and maybe I can do like, yeah, let's see if I can do that. Got an idea here, even though that one's a little thin. Set this aside for a sec. Look at that, so easy. Oh my goodness. All right, let's bring everything back over. Let's bring our pie plate in. We got this guy. I'm gonna go ahead now and sprinkle the flour and cinnamon mixture over the apples too. Let's mix that up. Oh, this is gonna be good. Bring this closer to me. All right, if you have a favorite apple pie recipe, if you want to shout it out or share it in the comments, drop us a link or share your recipe with us. Let us know. Oh man. It smells so good. All right, 5 more minutes on that guy. All right, let's get a little dish. Bentley just came downstairs. He's hanging out by the door. I probably need to take him out. He's so quiet. All right, we're gonna add in the apple pie filling. Oh man, this looks so good. Oh my goodness. Lots of apples. So one thing that Lynn recommended that I do is put like a baking sheet with aluminum foil in the oven, like underneath this, so that it probably will spill over. So I'll be prepared for that. All right, now I'm gonna top this guy with this half a stick of butter. I made some extra cubes here, or I cut them into cubes. All right, butter is on. Let me wash my hands over here. Get all the butter off. All right, and now I'm gonna bring in our top slices of the pie crust, and let's maybe do this. I hope this all makes sense to what I saw in my mind. Houston, we've got some pie. We got an apple pie. All right, that's the timer for the apple crisp. Let me just check that. All right, I'm just gonna let it go until I put the pie in a second. All right, I think we are ready for our last little bit of crust. What do you think? Looks good. All right, I'm gonna let this rest over on top of the stove. All right, there it is. So yummy. All right, we are going to test the apple crisp. I have some ice cream here, some vanilla bean. Somebody's already gotten their scoop. All right, I'm gonna have a little scoop there. And I'm so excited to eat this. Oh, let me get a bigger spoon. What's this one? right, here we go. Ooh, scoop for you. You want another little scoop? OMG. Wow. How is it? Good. All right, the apple pie is ready. Turn this guy up. Na 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 na. Oh wow, this looks so good. Oh goodness. All right guys, so we're going to test the apple pie. I have 2 taste testers with me for this tasting. So we're gonna have some apple pie and ice cream. So let's get, all right, you guys gonna come in?
Yup. Which one gotta take?
All right, here's that one.
Thank you.
Hold on, we're gonna go all at the same time.
That's it, okay.
We're gonna go at the same time. How was it? Really good. I think it has a good blend of sweet and the Granny Smith sour. You want to move ice cream?
The crust is good.
You know what? This is Pillsbury.
There you go.
Really good. All right, so both the apple crisp and the apple pie got a thumbs up, 5-star ratings for both of them. Thank you so much, Lynn, for this recipe. It was really, really good. I love the apple pie. It's really good. And thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this bake with me. I know it's definitely something different, but I've always wanted to give you a little bit of inside of business, a little bit of inside of life as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And don't forget, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.